it today. And so is the makeup. It's very green. I like it. And also, look, I think this is one of my favourite nail sets I've had. So pretty. Ignore the stamp. I went to a country show today. So recently I have been feeling an impulse to buy things. I say that as if it's not a literal constant impulse that I have. But obviously we are all constantly making jokes about capitalism and the end of society and the slowly rising inflation that's making everything kind of at the moment. So I thought I would do a video on getting the most out of your vintage styling, and also a few things on how to lower the cost of shopping for vintage and vintage reproduction, more vintage reproduction because I'm not that experienced a true vintage shopper, items, because everyone seems to think that vintage is a really expensive lifestyle, but honestly it really does not have to be. There's a really great TikTok from the Real Vintage Doll's House on living a vintage life on a budget. I will drop that link in the description because it's a really good TikTok. I love her content, she's amazing. So let's start with finding pieces and then we'll move on to getting the most out of styling them. So I am just gonna say that my main tip is secondhand. Obviously buying things new is always going to be way more expensive, but you can find so many treasures online. A great resource is secondhand online shops, quote unquote, like Vinted, Poshmark, eBay even. There are always loads of really pretty things on those sites, and that includes styles that have gone out of circulation, that are discontinued from maybe 1 to even 5 years back that you can't get anymore. So if you had your eye on something a few years ago and you thought, oh, I'm really sad that I missed out on that, maybe try and find some of the keywords for the style or the brand and have a look on secondhand places like Vinted. You might be surprised that you might be able to pick it up and bring it into the fold. And obviously things are generally a lot less expensive on there. I would also say if something is maybe only £5 or £10 out of your price range, try messaging the sellers. Don't be too cheeky. I've had some people offer me absolutely ridiculous prices for things that I am selling on Vinted that are already ridiculously discounted. But just message and say, hey, I would really love to buy this item, my budget is around this, and see if you guys can work something out, because a lot of the time people kind of want things gone, and I know especially for me, if I haven't sold anything in a while and someone comes along and they're like, hi, I really want to buy this but I can only offer you say £5 off what my asking price is, the value I have in having any money from the sale and having the item be gone is way more than just being really a stickler about price. So I would definitely recommend give people a message, see what they're willing to do, and also see if you can get a sort of bundle. If you like quite a few things on their page, you can buy more than one thing at a time, and a lot of sellers will offer bundle deals if you're buying more than one item from their shop. I would also say Facebook Marketplace, surprisingly good place to find vintage reproduction items. A lot of people are selling stuff, and they're selling stuff at stupid markdown prices, so definitely have a look on there. And also Facebook groups. So if you like a particular brand, for example, this dress is Miss Candyfloss, and I bought it off someone who is selling it on Facebook in a Facebook Miss Candyfloss buy, swap and sell group. There are those groups for so many different vintage brands. I'm in one for Miss Candyfloss, I'm in one for House of Foxy because I love that brand, but oh my god, they're expensive. Which I understand, but I don't always have the budget to be buying their stuff new. So when someone's selling a dress for £40 instead of £160, that's definitely going to be my choice and my preference to buy it on there. So look up Facebook groups for brands that you're interested in, find keywords for styles that you're interested in. That is going to be another great point. We are just going to get onto that in a second. But generally, secondhand sites, Vinted, all that sort of thing. I once saw a Vivienne of Holloway dress on Oxfam website, which I really didn't expect, and that was really marked down. So look in places that you wouldn't necessarily expect, and you might be pleasantly surprised. Keywords is definitely another one. A piece doesn't have to even necessarily be from a vintage reproduction brand even to look vintage. A lot of it can be down to the style and the silhouette, and then how you style it from there. I've seen some really gorgeous, almost sort of 1930s inspired looking dresses online. A really key thing to look for is the fit of it, if it has that, you know, waist emphasis. Sweetheart necklines are always great, really pretty sleeves. Obviously the length, so knee length or lower generally for most vintage eras, although there were some cute little like play suity things in the 30s and 40s and 50s. But looking up the sort of key indicators of the period that you're interested in, and then also more specific things that you might be personally interested in, like colour and print, and particular details like ruching or cap sleeves or frilly hem, or you know, anything like that. So maybe make yourself a little list of certain attributes that you're looking for in clothing, and then just look those up on broader sites, just doing a Google search, or on places like eBay, again, Facebook Marketplace, Vinted, Poshmark, Depop, anywhere like that, and you might be surprised at the things that you can find that look totally like the era, but aren't actually designed to necessarily be vintagey. So once you have those pieces in your wardrobe through your fabulous secondhand searching, what you want to do is you want to style them, of course, in a lovely vintagey way. And this is the part that's really fun, because this is the part where you get to be creative and also really put your own spin on things. So something that I would definitely recommend is vintage undergarments. I'm wearing a vintage underwired bra from Betty Page. It is very cute. I have two of them. You guys know that What Katie Did is one of my absolute favorite companies. They do gorgeous retro lingerie to genuine vintage patterns. They do bullet bras, they do the CC09 1940s government issue bras, but recreated in modern fabrics. They have garter belts, they have corsets. I have one of their gorgeous corsets that you might have seen in my TikTok just before Christmas that I won in one of their giveaways. I also, of course, have my gorgeous corset, that glamorous corset, gifted to me. I did a full video on that. You can find it in the card up there. But vintage undergarments can make such a difference to the styling of your outfit. It really helps to get that authentic vintage silhouette. And it doesn't have to be crazy. You don't have to go with like the padded bullet bra or anything if you think that that's a bit like eh. But even things like the What Katie Did, like cathedral bra, overwired bras like this one from Betty Page. I know there's, I think it's called Kiss Me Deadly, does some really gorgeous vintage inspired lingerie. And oh my god, what's it called? I think it's called Revival Lingerie. Also do really gorgeous vintage inspired pieces. Just getting the underpinnings, even if you're wearing a more modern construction of garment over the top, is going to give you that instantly more vintage look and silhouette. And getting the silhouette kind of right, quote unquote, is definitely going to help you in making a maybe more modern piece look a hell of a lot more vintage. So I would definitely recommend that. Try out some seamed stockings or seamed tights if you're not a fan of stockings. Bullet bras or vintage inspired bras. You don't have to wear any shapewear at all. That's not a thing you have to do. If you want to try some out, then I would say what Katie did, do really, really great, really comfortable shapewear or glamorous corset, especially if you are in the US, as they are a US based brand. Do really, really gorgeous shapewear as well. So if you want to try that out, you definitely can, but you don't have to by any means have to wear shapewear to have a vintage look. It's just kind of a fun optional extra if you feel like it. Once you have the underpinnings, if you are going especially for a more 1950s look, I would definitely recommend investing in at least one good petticoat. I would say that the band apparel petticoats are kind of my favourite at the moment. You know, I have 3 Doris Designs petticoats. I did a brand review on them ages ago and they are really, really gorgeous and I still do absolutely love them. But I also have 3 band apparel petticoats now and they are super gorgeous and I really, really love the way that they fit. And they're a lot more accessible for beginners, I think. So get yourself maybe like a white or a cream, or maybe a brown or a black if that works more with your colour palette, but just a really neutral basic colour for your first one, and popping that under even a modern constructed sort of knee-length circle skirt. It's gonna level up, it's gonna make it look so much more fluffy and flouncy and fabulous. And I know some people don't like the fluff, they don't like the floof. That hurts my heart a bit, but I do understand. I definitely like the fluff, but it is definitely going to make your outfits look that bit more vintage when you have the gorgeous petticoat on underneath. When it comes to a vintage look, I personally do enjoy that you can never have too many accessories. I love accessories. I'm a lover of bangles and earrings and necklaces and little hats or half hats or hair flowers, multiple hair flowers, brooches. I'm a big fan and I think they can really just give you a little bit extra zazz. And it's also a really great way to add a lot of variety to your outfits with only a few pieces. You can wear the same pieces over and over and over and over and over again. That's actually a lot more historically accurate because women in the past had way less clothes than we do now. But you can wear and mix and match the same pieces over again, but if you style it with like different hair flowers and hats and brooches worn in different ways, and the little, oh my gosh, what are they called? I have one. Little cardigan clips. Super cute. But if you style it in that way with different jewellery and hair flowers and brooches and things like that, you can really, really change up the look. And those accessories are going to be so much less expensive than buying way more full kind of clothes and outfits and things. That's another really good tip to look for when you're shopping, by the way, is to look for pieces that you can mix and match that are going to go really well together, and that's not just, you know, a skirt that you can only wear with one very specific top and you can't wear any other time. You want to be able to take even a matching set and wear it with loads of other things. That's going to make sure that you get the most out of your wardrobe at all times. So that's a definite big tip from me. Ooh, also gloves. Gloves are great. More people should wear gloves. I love gloves. I think they're gorgeous. And they can definitely switch up an outfit. And I'm not talking about like heavy winter gloves, although winter gloves are very pretty. But even just like the lacy kind of, I call them like the afternoon tea gloves. The kind of gloves that you remove and fold up and put in your bag when you get to whatever event you're at. They really make my heart happy. I love gloves. I want more gloves. I need to wear more of the gloves that I have. Gloves are great, add them to your accessory arsenal, and the same with hats. Hats are severely underrated, and turbans and hairscarves are also a great way to change up a look, because you can wear a hairscarf in so many different ways. It's unreal. And you can also wear it in so many different ways reminiscent of lots of different eras. It doesn't just have to be from one era. You can wear the same scarf in like 7 different ways, and it'll help you look like different eras depending on how you wear it. Hairscarves are amazing, and I definitely recommend them. They're also great for covering up when you haven't washed your hair in a while, or when your roots are coming in. So 10 out of 10 for that. Now, another really, really great way to take your outfit from being kind of vintagey to, oh, that's a vintage person, is, of course, hair and makeup. Now, you do not have to do your hair and makeup all the time. I am a big believer that the modern iteration of vintage inspired fashion shouldn't have really, really, really strict rules. And there are lots of reasons why people either can't or don't want to do their hair and makeup in certain ways. But I would definitely say that even something as simple as a barrel roll curl and a ponytail, and then some like red or pink lipstick, and even just like a simple winged eyeliner can really change the vibe, the look of an outfit. I obviously have quite short hair. I am possibly going to grow it out into sort of a Miss Fisher bob, but I can't put my hair up as much. I definitely can't put it in a ponytail or anything. But I love curling my hair. I love doing my little finger waves and things. Since I got my fringe, I love playing around with curling it like I have today, or wearing it straight. It's so much fun to play around with. But trying out different vintage inspired hairstyles like finger waves, S-waves, like victory rolls, barrel curls, bumper bangs, the big bouffants, hairdos, all of it is so much fun, and it can really, really take your outfit to another level of vintage inspiration. Also for your makeup, I do not at all generally do historically accurate makeup. The main thing that tells people that my makeup is kind of vintagey, I think, is the fact that most of the time my eyeshadow will in some way coordinate with my outfit, and my lipstick is usually red. That's about it. It is not historically accurate. Makeup is the area where I love to just have fun. I love playing with colour and sparkles and shimmers and just enjoying myself and enjoying kind of creating little art on my face. And it makes me really, really, really happy. I definitely don't wear it for anyone but myself. If I wore makeup for other people, if anything, I think I would wear less makeup. But I don't. I love my makeup the way that I do it, and my kind of thin little 20s, 30s eyebrows, and my red lipstick, and my colourful eyeshadow, and my highlighter, and it just makes me really happy, and it is something that you can have so much fun with. And you can also use your hair and makeup to kind of contrast your outfit in a way, or like mix in different eras. You could do a very 60s bouffant hairstyle with a very smoky 1920s style makeup, and then a 1940s dress. That sounds amazing. If anyone's done that, I want photographs, and I want to be tagged on Instagram, and I want to see them, because that sounds amazing. You can really mix and match and swap eras around, and that is what is so much fun about I call it the modern vintage, but the vintage wave that we all ride today is that you don't have to worry about being historically accurate. Please, 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 especially if you are just getting into the style, don't worry about being historically accurate. Find the colours, the silhouettes, the styles that you love, that make you feel the best and the most yourself, and that make you feel the most confident and the most how you want to feel. And I find once you've got that base, then you can worry a little bit more, think a little bit more about, oh, I want this to be a bit more accurate, so I'm going to do this. Or I want this to be a little bit more accurate, so I'm going to do this. You can kind of worry about all of that later, but it's about getting the base done first and finding the things that you connect with the most and that make you feel the happiest. At the end of the day, it is all such a lark and such a bit of fun, and that's what I love about vintage fashion, is that it's kind of like getting to play dress up every day. And I think everyone should be able to experience that. So I really hope that this video was helpful in some way. Inspiration maybe for building up your vintage wardrobe, for buying some new pieces in places that you maybe wouldn't have thought of before, or for finally biting a bullet and trying out those victory rolls that you've been too scared to do for a while. My mission is always to spread sparkles and happiness, so I hope I have done that for you today. Please remember to have courage and be kind, and may all of your dreams come true, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye! Oh my god. I am so snuffly. I have a concert next week. Oh my god. Yes, yours has an engine, we know.